Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatye Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Satgurave Namaha. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yatkrupatamaham vande Paramanandamadhavam. Paramanandamadhavam. Om Shri Chinmaya Satgurave Namaha. Hari Om to everyone. Hari Om. I hope you have received another 5 verses through PDF. These are only Dhyana slokas. You can just chant. Please follow me. I will recite it and then you can repeat. But the meaning part of it is only Dhyana sloka and the meanings are given there, but we don't have time to go deep into that. But we will go into the slokas, the other, the Dakshinaamurti Stotra later. These are the Dhyana slokas composed by Bhagavan Shankaracharya himself. Before the sloka proper begins, normally we recite this also. Shall we recite? I will say the first line. Kindly repeat. Mauna-Vyaakhyaa Prakattita Para-Brahma-Tattvam Yuvanam Varssisstthaam-Te Vasat-Rishiganai-Avrutam Brahma-Nisstthaih Acharyendram Kara-Kalita Cin-Mudram-Aananda-Roopam Acharyendram Kara-Kalita Cin-Mudram-Aananda-Roopam Swatma-ramam Mudita-Vadanam Dakssinnaamuurti-Miidde Dakssinnaamuurti-Miidde Vatta-Vittapi-Samiipe-Bhuumi-Bhaage Nishannam Vatta-Vittapi-Samiipe-Bhuumi-Bhaage Nishannam Sakala-Muni-Janaanaam Jnyaana-Daataaram-Aaraat Sakala-Muni-Janaanaam Jnyaana-Daataaram-Aaraat Tri-Bhuvana-Gurum-Iisham Dakssinnaamuurti-Devam Tri-Bhuvana-Gurum-Iisham Dakssinnaamuurti-Devam Janana-Maranna-Duhkhac-Cheda Daksham namami Janana-Maranna-Duhkhac-Cheda Daksham namami Chitram Vatta-Taror-Muule Vruddha Shishya Gurur-Yuvaa Chitram Vatta-Taror-Muule Vruddha Shishya Gurur-Yuvaa Guros-Tu Mauna-Vyaakhyaanam Shissyaas-Tuc-Chinna-Samshayaah Guros-Tu Mauna-Vyaakhyaanam Shissyaas-Tuc-Chinna-Samshayaah Nidhaye Sarva-Vidyaanaam Vishaye Bhava-Roginnaam Nidhaye Sarva-Vidyaanaam Vishaye Bhava-Roginnaam Gurave Sarva-Lokaanaam Dakkshinaamuurtaye Namaha. Gurave Sarva-Lokaanaam Dakkshinaamuurtaye Namaha. Om Namah Prannava-Arthaaya Shuddha-Jnyaanaika-Muurtaye. Om Namah Prannava-Arthaaya Shuddha-Jnyaanaika-Muurtaye. Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakkshinaamuurtaye Namaha. Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakkshinaamuurtaye Namaha. These are beautiful dhyana slokas or meditation verses. Before we start the text proper, normally this is chanted. So yesterday we have seen the introduction, and we said that according to the Vedanta Shastra, as Bhagavan Shankaracharya rightly put it elsewhere, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. So whatever text you study in Vedanta, everything focuses upon this theme, this topic only. So you can't expect, every time, every class, some different topics. The central, the pivotal, the focus topic is this only. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Because Vedanta has a direct appeal to you and I. That is the point. Yesterday we said, each one of us, we are the central figures. So Vedanta addresses us, unraveling and revealing what each one of us is intrinsically, inherently, innately. Who are we? Right? Everything, everyone says, I. So, fine. Say, I am a Swami. So, I identify myself with that initiation, Diksha, and all that. I am short. I identify with my stature. I am fat. Again, body. I am a doctor. That is my intellectual capacity. I am not a doctor. I am just, I am an engineer. So what I have studied, I identify with my intellect and I say, I am a doctor and I am an engineer, I am an IT professional, etc. So all these things we say about ourselves, but the question is basically, who are we? That is the fundamental question that Vedanta Shastra raises and answers in no uncertain terms, very categorically, that each one of us is that. What? Brahman, the reality. The whole Vedanta Shastra is unraveling this truth, disclosing this truth, rediscovering this truth, revealing this truth. very, that way it is very simple, but then, but Swamiji, see, okay, we are Brahman and all that. Yesterday we said, what is the benefit? See, Vedanta Shastra also defines what is the benefit of the study of the Vedanta. Yesterday we said, and in Vedantic terms, we say Dukkha Nivritti. One is Dukkha Nivritti. Yesterday we said, live a tension-free life, which everyone aspires for, don't we? We want, each one of us, we want a tension-free life. Everyone. Whether he is rich or poor or learned or illiterate, everyone. One who lives in the village or one who lives in the city, irrespective of time, place, etc., everyone wants to live a happy life, a tension-free life. So, Dukkha Nivritti is one of the twin objectives of Vedanta Shastra Patana. Dukkha Nivritti. Dukkha Nivritti alone is not sufficient, because if you go to sleep, there is temporary Dukkha Nivritti, elimination of sorrows. Isn't it true? Or when you are under the influence of some intoxicating thing like some LSD or some tablet or some liquor or something like that. So we get under some temporary smugness. Goody, all is good, all is well. These are all temporary. Even sleep brings kind of temporary elimination of sorrows. But Vedanta speaks about an elimination of sorrow. It is not such a temporary elimination. It is a once and for all elimination. Total elimination. Dukkha Nivritti. Atyantika Dukkha Nivritti means absolute. Thereafter, the dukkha will not touch us. Oh, is it true? That means one who has studied Vedanta and realized the truth, COVID-19 will not infect. COVID-19 can infect if you don't take enough care. Why? Because it infects the body, our system. Is it not? But the self, the true self, is not affected by anything. And once, because now we get affected by all these things. See, when somebody insults me, so I am upset. Or somebody questions my understanding, my knowledge and my appreciation capacity, there I am hurt. Or somebody slaps me, I feel the pinch, I feel the pain. Why? I identify with my body or my mind. So if you, I come to your house and you offer me a cup of tea, just like that. If some visitor comes home and you ask, do you want tea? In a way, without regard or respect, that guest may say, no, thank you. But there is a way, in the tone itself, an emotion is conveyed, a sentiment is conveyed. If it is not proper sentiment, naturally, it is not acceptable. So at that time, we identify with the mind. When we get insulted like that, we identify ourselves with the mind. And when my understanding, when I say, if I am a doctor and you question my authority and all that, you are insulting my intellect, my understanding. And at that time, when I get insulted, I felt hurt. Why did it happen? Because I identified myself with the intellect. So the identification with the body mind and intellect. This you may go on hearing this from all Swamis whoever are talking to you Vedanta. This is the thing. And why are you repeating? Because even after repetition, this identification would not leave us. Is it not true? The identification is so deep-rooted. So it is so deeply ingrained in us. So it takes a lot of tapas, lot of purificatory process to remove the identification. Once the identification is removed, all is clear. The effulgence that we are, the light that we are, it comes into, comes to shine. So the Vedantic stand is that the world is mithya. The world is mithya. What does it mean, mithya? It is not non-existent. Please understand, because these are the basic things. You may be knowing this because you have been listening to Vedantic classes. You may be knowing all these things, but I would appeal to you, please don't take things for granted. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. I know. Yes, you know. Remember, that is only the intellectual appreciation. That appreciation, as I said yesterday, some percolation has to take place. It has to come to the heart. It has to come down to the mind, and then it has to purify that mind, which is the abode of all sentiments, all passions, or lust, or greed, envy, all these things. So this had to be these negative vasanas, tendencies, samskaras, when these are thinned out, when these are reduced to the minimum, to the extent we are able to reduce, to that extent we enjoy the light that is within us. We come to enjoy the more peace. For example, meditation and all that. Meditation, when you do, you would find meditation means sitting just like this. That is not meditation. Meditation is a process, as we said yesterday, Sravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. First, it is Sravana, listening to the scriptures, and then Manana, reflection, the pros and cons, and then meditation. But these days, meditation has a great market value. The moment somewhere meditation takes place, yes, I want to go. Meditation. Without knowing, what meditation is all about. Meditation means what? We must go into the core. Don't be floating on the surface. Dive deep. What does it mean? What does meditation mean? In Sanskrit, dhyan. Dhyanam is meditation. In Hindi, dhyan. Dhyan rakho means what? Keep in mind. Dhyanam kuru, or to do meditate means to think deeply. To think, dhyana means deep thinking. Deep thinking means concentrated thinking, focused thinking, single-minded thinking. Are we ready for that when we sit for meditation? So what do we do? What do these great masters of Vedanta, what do they advise? Start with japa or chanting and all that. These are all important. Chanting is important. Japa is important. In fact, japa goes a long way in preparing our mind. You do japa. What do you do japa? How do you do? Om Namah Shivaya, or Om Namo Narayanaya, or Om Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Sadgurave Namaha, Om Shri Mahadevyai Namaha. All these are mantras. You can, according to your Ishta Devata, the god of your worship, the deity of your worship, accordingly you can choose the mantra, and then this mind can be tamed, mind can be tuned. Why do you want the mind to be tuned? How? What is mind? These are all going deep into the subject. What is mind? If these fundamentals, we have a grip of these things, then when we go to the sloka proper, you might be wondering why Swamiji is not going into sloka. No, he is beating about the bushes, going round and round and not touching the sloka, because these are the basic things. Sometimes you may be in the know of these things, but I am just reminding you. See that when the mind, when we study, we must know what mind is. What is mind? Puja Gurudev has defined it very nicely. The mind is a flow of thoughts. This is our experience. Mind is a flow of thoughts. And in the deep sleep, the mind ceases. Mind comes to a stop. No thought flow. Patanjali says about mind, it is vritti pravaha. Vritti means thought flow. Same thing. Vritti pravaha. That is a yoga chitta vritti nirodha. It is said. So while we are doing the japa yoga, japa is also a yoga, it's a spiritual practice. What happens? Our mind, which is a flow of thoughts, the mind, each one of our mind, the thoughts are always flowing, different kinds of thoughts. Sometimes we are getting very agitated, very angry. What happens then? The thought flow, the anger thought, such thoughts are at tremendous flow, speed. So we shook the mind. Very agitated, restless mind. But a quiet mind means what? The thought flow is much slower. But thought flow is there, but it is brought to a slow speed. And through the process of japa, what do? I'm just sharing with you how we should do japa effectively. When we do japa, what happens? For example, we say Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Normally what happens when we start the japa practice for the beginners, mechanically he or she may be saying Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, but many other thoughts are in the mind. So the effectiveness of japa, how we can bring about it? When you are doing this japa, be aware. That is, in these days, there is an art and science being developed by clinical psychologists. It's called mindfulness. In the West, it is more popular. Mindfulness. Mindfulness means when we are doing something, be aware of it. When you are brushing your teeth, be aware. Normally, we will be thinking about something else. When you are cooking, we will be thinking about something else. Our mind is not there where our hands are. See? Please note. Is it not true? So, this should be regulated through conscious efforts. I mean, it is not possible. It is possible. It is possible. How do you say it? You are asserting it is possible? It is not my assertion. Bhagavan says in the Gita, when Arjuna raised a similar question, how the unruly mind can be tamed, Bhagavan says it is within the range of possibility, that is abhyasena to kaunteya, abhyasena, through regular practice. Like when one begins cycling, many a time one may fall, right? But sooner or later, according to his practice, what happens? A time comes when without holding the handles also, he just rides. How? Because of the practice, abhyasena. In the same way, this is a subtler realm. Mind is a subtler realm. So there also you can achieve this quietude or the peace of mind by taking to japa yoga. So this, along with this study of the Vedanta, this practice should be there. It is not enough to intellectually understand, appreciate Vedantic knowledge, but along with that, the japa should also take place. From japa, dhyana is a natural upgradation taking place. So if you want to enjoy the peace that is already within you, the mind has to be tamed, mind has to be tuned. We just digressed a little because I just wanted to share with you about the importance of japa. If you are to live a spiritual life, the mind needs to be controlled, needs to be regulated. Please understand, needs to be controlled means it is not through suppression. You can't suppress and oppress the mind. Then it will have very negative, adverse impact. But through taming means to sublimation. Puja Gurudev uses the word sublimation. Instead of suppression, sublimate means what? To divinize. So now the mind is full of other thoughts. What do you do through japa? That Om Namah Shivaya thought is introduced, and that is consciously attempted to remain, go on and on and on. And remember, 1,000 times, 10,000 times we may fail, but don't get upset. You bring the mind back. Abhyasa enata kaunteya. Abhyasa is the secret of success in achieving and in the area of japa. Okay. Now, we said, we digress from the mithyatvam of the world. Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. Brahma is Satyam. The truth is Brahman. Brahman, yesterday, the evening class, got Brahma means, you got what Brahma and all that. It is defined Sat, Chit and Ananda. Sat, Chit, Ananda. This is a subtle topic. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Sat means, what is Sat? Translation, existence. We know that. We are prone to say, Sat means existence. But what is his existence? What is his existence? See, this is a paperweight. Correct? This is a paperweight. This exists or not? This does exist. And now, this means what? Oh, you said paperweight. Again, you are asking what is it? It is paperweight. And it has a form, doesn't it? It has a form, and therefore it has a name. The name and form. Paperweight means this substance with a name and a form. And now I make a request. Shall I make a request to all of you? Request is you remove the name and form from this thing. Name and form. What is it? name, okay, you pulverize it, you grind it, make it powder. So it is powder now. It is no more a paperweight, correct? And then you add some water and make a ball, and it is a ball now. Is it not? So the form changes, according to the name also changes, but it doesn't exist? Existence is there. That pure existence without any form or name whatsoever, that is called the pure existence, Sat. That is Sat. Please understand. This is a subtle point, I know. It takes a subtle mind to understand. There may be a great scientist. And a scientist has got a very, very sharp intelligence. You talk to him about this. Generally, he may appreciate, understand, but he can't dive deep. Our buddhi also, there are two types of buddhis. Two types of buddhi. Buddhi means intellect. One type is called Tikshna buddhi. Tikshna buddhi means very sharp intelligence. A scientist, a researcher, or any expert in a particular area of, he or she is of sharp intelligence, and whatever success he or she has achieved, it is thanks to her intelligence, sharpness. But then such people need not be having the intelligence to understand and appreciate Vedanta. Need not necessarily. They can, but they need not necessarily. That is why there are some scientists who are atheists, who don't believe in all these things. They are atheists. They have had great achievements in the field of science, the physical science, or in the chemical science, or in biology, in different branches of science. They may be very, very expert. But then, in the area of this Vedantic truth, they may not appreciate, they may not understand. You know why? For understanding, appreciating Vedanta, subtlety of intelligence is required. The intellect has to be subtle. Subtle means Sukshma Buddhi. The other one is Tikshna Buddhi. Please draw the distinction between the two. One is Sukshma Buddhi, which is required for understanding and appreciating the Vedantic knowledge, while Tikshna Buddhi is necessary for analyzing, dissecting the outer world. Outer world means it is not only dissection, a great analysis, a political analysis, or a theoretical analysis of some subject or the other. He needs Tikshna Buddhi, sharp intelligence. But here, to understand and appreciate, one needs to have subtle Buddhi. The subtlety of the Buddhi can be achieved, it can be improved by our practice of sadhana. Everyone can do that. Okay. Now, Brahma Satyam. The existence is Brahman. Sat, not only Sat, Chit. Chit means consciousness. Shuddha Bodha, consciousness. Sat, Chit, what is Brahman? Satchidananda is Brahman. We generally hear, Sat, Chit, Ananda. But these are not, just figures of speech. That nice words are used. No, these are all scientifically thought about. Scientifically means according to one's own experience, according to the Shastras, according to the evidence, our rishis have conducted daring experiments, and they have arrived at this truth. And the truth of their own existence, their own intrinsic nature. That is how this Sat, Chit and Ananda. We said, a thing minus its name and form is the Sat of it. In other words, see, we say a pen is, a book is, this laptop is, or this room is. Is it not? In Sanskrit, asti, 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 asti. In Sanskrit. You remove the names and forms, and what is left behind is the isness. Isness is the names and forms can change, but isness is there. Existence is ever there. Please try to understand that isness. Sat means this. A thing minus its name and form. And what is consciousness? Chit. Chit is that by which we are conscious of. But Chit is or not? Chit is. My consciousness is it not? Consciousness asti, chaitanyam asti, bodhaha asti. Asti means is. So chaitanya also is, meaning this Shuddha Sat, that pure existence and pure consciousness is one and the same. That is the point. Swami, the world, Jada Prapancha, the inert world is all where we see the Sat. But that is the manifestation of Sat. What we see. But Chit is not seen everywhere. Chit in its elementary form is seen in the trees. The trees, plants, the plant kingdom, there is the very, very minimal manifestation of consciousness. And when you go to the animals, it is still more. And animals also, different types of animals. They say the elephant is a very intelligent. Manifestation is more. And when it comes to human being is the, they say, the roof and crown of creation, the maximum manifestation of consciousness. And there also variations are there. Some are Jada Buddhis, some are Madhyama Buddhis, some are super intelligent. Is it not true? Variation is in the level of intelligence. That is all because, not because Atman is less or Paramatma, Brahman is, no. It is because of the equipment, the mind intellect equipment, the quality, the nature, the texture, the subtlety of the equipment, the manifestation differs. I hope it is clear. So Sat Chit Ananda is what is called Brahman. Anyway, evening class also, when you combine this with that, the concept will become more and more and more clear. Okay. Now, Vedantic conclusion is that this world is mithya. Mithya means it is not unreal, doesn't exist. No. If I say the world doesn't exist, would you believe me? No. World it is my experience. How can you say it doesn't exist? But then, through an example, we can drive home this point. See, in a dim light one evening, the very popular example in Vedanta, a rope, an innocent rope is lying there, and I happen to pass, and it's the twilight time, and I don't see the rope in its place, what do I see? I see a rope. I see a snake. Because it is a bit dark, so I can't see the rope. So instead, I project a snake, and then I run back. I retrace my steps and I run back. And then, with the help of a torch, I return to the spot and flash the torch and look at it. What is it? It is an innocent rope. But when I saw it as a snake, it raised fear in me, didn't it? I was scared. So I ran back. But then when the knowledge arose, it is not a snake, but a piece of rope. What happened? Enlightenment took place. The fear is totally gone. With regard to the world also, our Shastras say, and also our great rishis who had this experience of this truth, living examples they were. They had this inner experience. They got it through their enlightenment. And what they said, like this rope was mistaken for a snake, we take the pure existence, the Sat-Chit Ananda Brahman, as the world of plurality, the world of diversity, the world of many things. So this should be, and it takes time, this sloka would make things clear. We shall see. Shall we read the slokas? Are you able to follow me? Anyway, the Dhyana slokas also, if you found it difficult, please don't worry. No, I don't know Sanskrit. Don't worry. Slowly we will learn. But again, the question of practice. When you practice this, by the time we finish this slokas, on the 21st, we are expected to finish this. And then, by then, you should be very thorough with the slokas. You should be able to easily read it without any any fumbling or without any pause or anything. So we shall now read the slokas. The sloka number 1. I shall read the pada by pada. So we said it's a different meter. The meter not the one that you are used to. That is Bhagavad Gita verses and all that you are used to. That is in Anushtup Chandas with the 8 letters in each pada. Here there are as many as 19 letters in one pada. So naturally it is longer. But don't worry. Okay. Even Mount Everest is what under somebody's feet. Is it not? So this is not a big thing. Okay. And this meter is Chandas Vrta is called Shardula Vikreedidam. Shardula means a tiger. Shardula Vikreedidam. Have you watched how a tiger walks? Like, a tiger walks like this. So this sloka also, when you read, you see in your bhavana, in your imagination, a tiger is walking and sloka is flowing from your mouth. Okay. Vishwam Darpanna-Drshyamaana-Nagarii-Tulyam Nija-Antargatam. Please repeat. Vishwam Darpanna-Drshyamaana-Nagarii Tulyam Nija-Antargatam Pashyannatmani Mayaya Bahirivot Bhutam Yatha Nidraya Pashyannatmani Mayaya Bahirivot Bhutam Yatha Nidraya Yat Sakshat Kurute Prabodha Samaye Swatmanamevadvayam Yat Sakshat Kurute Prabodha Samaye Swatmanamevadvayam Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinaamurtaye Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinaamurtaye. Please follow me. I shall break the words. If there is any confusion, then it will be clear. Vishwam Darpanna-Drshyamaana-Nagarii-Tulyam Nija-Antargatam Pashyannatmani Mayaya Bahirivot Bhutam Yatha Nidraya Yas Sakshat Kurute Prabodha Samaye Swatmanamevadvayam Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinaamurtaye. This is is called in Sanskrit Vatta-Vittapi-Samiipe-Bhuumi-Bhaage. I did it a little fast, but this is called breaking of words. Now, putting the whole verse in prose order, that is called Anvaya. Anvaya is prose order. This is in sloka or verse order. Anvaya is in prose order. Darpanna-Drshyamaana-Nagarii-Tulyam Nija-Antargatam Vishwam Yatha Nidraya Tatha Atmani Mayaya Bahihi Iva Pashyan Prabodha Samaye Advayam Swatmanam Eva Yaha Sakshat Kurute Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Dakshinaamurtaye idam namaha astu. Don't worry if you didn't understand what it is called prose order. This sloka, the poetic order, the verse order. This is in prose order which I read out. To understand the meaning more clearly, this will be helpful. That's why. Okay. Now, what is this word? Darpanna-Drshyamaana-Nagarii-Tulyam. Darpanna-Drshyamaana-Nagarii-Tulyam. See, we said, the world is mithya. World is mithya doesn't mean we said it doesn't exist. But it gives us an impression that it does exist. So, mithya, appearance is not real. You might have heard this, proverb. Appearance is not real or need not be real. All that glitters is no gold. You might have heard this proverb also. All that glitters is no gold. Like that, the world, as we see it is not that real. But means I transact with the world, everything is real. See, my body is real, my mind is real, people around me are real, my wife, my husband, my father, my children, my friends, everybody is real. Why are you saying they are not real? There are differences in the order of reality. the Vedanta also it is defined. What do we mean by real? Real means Trikala Abadhita Vastu. Trikala Abadhita Vastu means that which never gets negated in all the 3 periods of time. That which doesn't get negated in all the 3 periods of time. What are the 3 periods of time? The past, the present, and the future. It's not the past, the present, and the future. And the reality, the Sat or the Chit, it doesn't get negated. We said, the paperweight can be pulverized, made into powder, but the powder is there, and powder can be made into a ball later. That exists there. So that easiness, that existence doesn't get negated, but the names and forms will get negated. Please slowly understand. If you don't understand, also don't bother, and slowly you will understand. If you don't get a particular point, don't worry. Because I told you, Vedanta means again and again we have to go on listening. Pauna punyena sravanam kuryat. You go on listening again and again and again and again. Go on listening. So you catch some point from here and another point from there. So you go on capturing this. And then the whole thing you will piece together. Then you will say, yes, Eureka. You have discovered it. That is it. We said yesterday, the Vedanta is like, appreciation of a joke. Somebody cracks a joke, you get it or you don't get it. But the moment you get it, it is not fragmentary appreciation. It is total appreciation. It is not partial appreciation. It is total appreciation. Is it not true? Then you burst into laughter. That is spontaneous. All right. So, Trikala Abadhita Vastu. So, Sat never gets negated in 3 periods of time. Our body, there was a time when it didn't exist. And there will be a time it will no more exist as body. Correct? Anything under the sun, this rule applies to it. Anything and everything. So everything is a passing phenomenon. It is ephemeral. It is short-lived. It is momentary. So nothing seems to be permanent here. Anything, any part of the world, everything is impermanent. Nothing has got any permanent stature. Change is the only permanent thing about the world. It goes on changing. But truth, Brahman, the reality, is the absolute thing, and it doesn't undergo any change whatsoever. And that Sat is Chit. And this world, then what is it I see? Did I not see a real snake on the rope? Because of which I ran back in fear. My heartbeat increased because I was about to step on it. But then I immediately withdrew and then I ran back. So much of fear got into my heart because of the sight of the snake, which to me was real at that time, at that moment. Was it not? It was real. Similarly, please understand, this world that we see today as real, at the moment as real, this has that much reality only. That is what our Shastras say, our Acharyas say. Oh, Swamiji, this can't be accepted. And including you, after this class, you will go for breakfast. And if breakfast is not ready, you will be upset. Is it not true? Because so much real, everything so real. It is true. See, in this sloka, so in this verse, another example is brought out. We will see in more detail tomorrow. That is, see, we saw the snake rope example. Like that, you go to sleep. And you had eaten well. And in the dream, which you saw in your deep sleep, you have started seeing things. A different world you are experiencing in your dream. Is it not true? Oh, you simply lie down dreaming, saying that this is a dream. No. In that dream, supposing some thief is charging at you and going to attack you, you get scared, don't you? You get scared. Why? Because that thief is real. But actually what's happening? You are comfortably sleeping in your AC bedroom, very comfortable, but still you are seeing this. The dream that you saw, while seeing it, it was as real as even now we are experiencing this world. Only thing is, this world is a long dream, they say. Our Shastra says that, when you wake up from the dream, what do you realize? Oh, that was a mere dream. But because of the thief who was wielding a knife, a dagger at you, and then you were sweating, and in that fear suddenly you woke up and sweating is there. But you realized. Sometimes you might have screamed also. And people sleeping in the same room, if there are, and they got scared because of your screaming. That is true. But once you woke up, what happened? Hey, that was a mere dream. Our Shastras say, Vedanta Shastras say, our Acharyas, our Rishis, who had had this experience, they vouch for a truth. That is, just as you wake up from the dream and you realize it was a mere dream, when you wake up to, or when you get awakened to that reality, that truth, the absolute truth, then the whole order of reality changes. You see that this world is what it is. So if we are to look at the world for what it is worth, you have to study Vedanta, understand it. Otherwise, we lend to the world undue reality, and because of that, we have all problems. Hey, everything is mithya, but after listening to this, please don't go about telling people at home, everything is mithya. Vedanta is not for that sort of blabbering, and people will mock at you, make fun of you. And they may even say something has gone wrong. Until this person listened to that Vedantic class, he or she was all right, but after that, something has gone wrong. So, we have to understand things properly in the correct perspective. That is what our Rishi said. When you wake up to that reality, that absolute truth, the whole scenario changes. But when you wake up to the reality, you will not see your wife as wife, husband as husband, son as son. Yes, everything will be as it is, no change. But then you look at everyone in a new light. The vision changes, the perception changes, the perspective changes. Please understand. Okay, more of it we will see tomorrow. Okay, and yesterday 1 or 2 or 3 had asked out. I had cleared it on WhatsApp because there was a minor doubt. So we are not. If it is a general doubt, which we feel that it is applicable to everyone, then only we discuss at this forum. Otherwise, if it is simple doubts and all that, I clear it on the WhatsApp itself and reply. Okay. So thank you so much. Hari Om. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Next class is at 11:30. I hope you are aware of it. 11:30 a.m. this morning. Hari Om. Thank you. Hari Om to everyone.